Trump is the most pro-life president of our lifetimes.
Mm-hmm. He's very pro-life when it comes to the abortion issue in particular, but IVF is slightly different.
Yes. He expanded access to IVF, and I think IVF is confusing for people because it seems like a pro-life position.
Well, it does. It really does. And I'll play devil's advocate a little bit here and try to make a case to consider. So this is a tough one. Just the other day, I was having breakfast with a well-known pastor in my area, and this guy's an awesome man of God. We were talking about the IVF debate, and then he pulled out his phone. He showed me this little picture. And he goes, "Check out my granddaughter." And I said, "What a beautiful little baby." And then he said, "Well, she's a product of IVF." And I was like, "Oh wow!" I said, "That little baby is tough to argue with or to argue against." Right now, listen, that's not a concession. I was just kind of floored. IVF is completely different than abortion, and the fact that the intent of abortion is to end a human life, while the intent of IVF is to bring forth life. Problem here is that there's often collateral damage that comes along with this objective good of bringing forth life. This raises questions about the doctrine of double effect, but before we get into that, what would you add?
So regardless of how they're brought into existence, we praise God for new life. But that is not to say the way they were brought into existence was moral. A child conceived in rape is still a child worthy of life. But that does not make me thankful or even neutral towards rape. Like, the rape was wrong.
Yeah, two things can be true at once.
The same thing can be said for IVF, depending on how it's done. Two things can be true at once. There's two problems in my view with IVF. One is the discarding problem. The other one is a little bit more philosophical, so I understand that there's maybe some nuance here. But with IVF, we tend to treat then having children as commodities that we're able to purchase.